Hey guys, welcome back to the Pure Goddess channel. My name is Gwenley. I hope everyone's doing well. Um, I just blanked out, you guys. I just lost my train of thought. I just had a conversation with someone from the past. Excuse me. A family member from the past, came to my home today, and I had a feeling that it was someone, from the past, and so they popped it up, and I was like half awake, so I decided, it's gonna be quick to talk, but to me, I let this person know to meet at a park at this time, and so we did. We just finished our conversation. I'm not going to give myself a headache. I think as 444. When your own mother, 321. When your own mother comes and, to find you to see what's up, right? Because I've always had a mother who has just left me to be. So she doesn't come looking for me or check up on me often. And so, for me, there's nothing to speak about. I don't know for them, and I don't want to put myself in their shoes because I've left it to God, but I'm also not going to be 444 again. I'm also not going to be angry or petty or mean or anything like that. Yeah, so basically, what I foresaw, what I estimated, what I guessed it would happen, happened, right? And so, the first thing was, what's going on? How are you? And why aren't you talking to me? Or what's going on? What did I do to you to cause you to not speak to me? It's always the same repetitive thing, since I was young. Since I was a teenager. And I didn't depend on my mother so much, right? And so, those words came out, it was like a trigger. And I was like, I got kind of like, not angry, but like, I'm going to tell you, like, it's just a, gaslighting, deceptive, like, oh, woe is me, like a victim mentality. And that's who my mom is, and I can't, I've tried like forever, my whole life, to like change her and heal her and all these things that, I've been by her side for majority of my life. And to help her become her best self, right? Because I sacrificed, I've devoted my whole life to them, because that's what family does. And those are things that I told her, I'm not going to do that anymore for you guys. I leave it in God's hands, because how much of my life has been wasted. And yes, obviously everything that has happened in the past was meant to happen, excuse me, you guys. And I got a little triggered, and I was just like, you are not gonna gaslight me. You can't, like, I'm done. You guys brushing everything under the carpet, basically under the rug. Like, if it's not real, if it's not true, like, oh, we're just gonna look the other way. Things like this. And like, I'm done with that. I'm not going to receive half-ass love. I'm not going to receive half the love that you guys want to give me, but I don't, like, I deserve full. I deserve, like, my family actually unconditional, and if you are living a very carnal life, like, you don't see in the spirit, you're not gonna understand much. God, the Bible, you are Catholic, this and that, some things, you believe in miracles, you believe in like healing, you believe in certain things, but you're not going to see in the spirit like how I do. And so what, I can't fully, and I don't mean to, like, I don't want to explain myself, like, there's no point, but give her a certain amount of information for her to understand that I know all the truth. Like, I know, like, there's no more trying to sugarcoat or lie or illusions or anything. Like, it's just, and it's like she didn't want to see it, but she understood. But for the darker stuff, she didn't want to see it, so she denied it in a sense. And some family members, that's just who they are, right? They would rather ignore than to deal with it. And we can't help people like that because they don't want to help themselves. And even though, she's had growth in her life, the older she's gotten, and I'm very happy for that, but I'm not gonna, it's just like I'm not gonna praise her. It's just like, what do you want, and this and that, like, in a respectful way. We're not gonna have a full conversation of, oh, I love you and I miss you and all this and that, but, and so, I spoke about God, and, I can't, if people live in the past, they're going to stay in the past, and they're going to see and just accept the old you, but not the new you. They're not going to. So, it of course, they used to sadden me a lot, but, I can't put myself in their shoes anymore, because I can't sacrifice my own life, myself, my being, my soul for people like this. And so, she apologized, and, she said, I'm sorry for anything that I have caused you and everything. And, like, sometimes, as parents, we don't see how we hurt or harm. But, she apologized. And, that's something she's never done before. So, she's always had, like, pride and ego, like, just ignorance to certain things. Seeing me as the old me, seeing me as the broken me, seeing me as the pushover, seeing me as the people pleaser, seeing me as my heart is just out there for anyone to just step on and tug on and take advantage of. So I'm like, I'm done. Something else I mentioned, I'm done. Like, you can't pull me back in. You can't, like, pull on my heartstrings. You can't do these things, Excuse me, guys. And I don't know. I'm barely looked into her eyes, because I was, more spiritually sensing how things are, and yeah. But so yeah. That's what some of what happened, I did speak about the Lord, and that it's not, personal in a sense of, like, the way I ghosted or how I, don't speak to them anymore. It's just how it happened, and it, I'm not, I am on my own walk with God, and this is what needs to happen. Like, I'm not, and I didn't really need to explain so much, not that I intended to, but at the same time, I just, let's get things clear. Like, the truth, I have been revealed the truth, and I know the truth, and that's just that was a shock to her, but I didn't care to look into her eyes, because I know that it's still gonna be deceptive. It's still gonna be, different things going on. just what it is, right, guys? I'm not gonna be deceived. Like, you guys can't do anything about anything. Like, it's done. Like, your games are done, basically, you know, without saying your games are done. You know, you're done playing with me. Like, she understood it. And, you know, just very stern and stoic and, like, to the point, and that's it. Like, it's just what it is. And that's it. You know, it was, I think, more closure for her in a way. You know, like, I can't say nothing more, because God is the one that's gonna deal with everyone, everything. So, you know, I can't say things like that. You know, it's not. It's not me to tell. You know, it's the Lord is gonna. The Lord is gonna do His thing, and whatever they deserve, whatever comes to them, I don't know. I don't want to see. I don't care. I don't wish. I'm not angry. I don't wish them, you know, anything that they've put me through, you know. But I didn't mention those things because she knows well enough, you know. But she doesn't want to see, you know. She doesn't want to see how much she's truly hurt me and damaged me. And at the end of the day, it's not even about us. It's about the Lord. And we are His. And we put Him above everyone and everything. And that's something I said even before our own kids, you know. And, you know, I did clarify some things, you know, like, you know, we are always going to be safe. We're, you know, we are protected. Like, you know, I have, yes, baby. It's like I basically put my big girl pants on, you know, like, I could handle us, you know, like, we're gonna be fine as mother and child, you know. So just reassuring her that, you know, whatever, you know, whatever worry she has, like, we're gonna be fine. But, you know, it's like a no more thing, you know, like, we're not gonna be in each other's lives at all again, ever. And that's it. So I understand where closure needs to happen, and sometimes it doesn't come to that point. And that's all, you know. So after that, you know, that's what that was. But you know, there's some truths and lies that, you know, sometimes their family members tell themselves to be able to tolerate what they've caused us. And it's like, you know, telling her that you know, like everyone knows, you know, like you guys know, you know, God created me like this. God made me like this. You guys know who I am. You guys know what I have, and that's just the truth, you know, like don't deny yourself or don't like make me think like I'm nothing, I'm unimportant, and that obviously has more to do with themselves than with me. That's why, you know, with certain family members, we have to treat them and act accordingly because you know, we will always have love for them and love them, but we must be obedient to God, and since everything has been revealed, I know the truth, and it, you know, it hurt very much, you know, of course it hurt, but you know, I have healed to the point where I could walk on my own and be okay to have had that conversation with her, um if it was 15-20 minutes, I think, I don't know, but yeah, it was just very vague. I tried to be very vague, and because it's not like the love that and I mentioned this in my last video, the love that I've always wanted and craved, you know, it was very conditional from my parents. And like I said before, it has more to do with themselves than with me, but also to cause punishment and hurt, and like they would not show me and give me affection, right? But yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for now. I'm here waiting to get a coffee. I'm trying a new place. It's called Country Coffee, and their beans and their coffee are like clean, and yeah, so we're here. I have a free one today, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless everyone, and you know, just stay prayed up, stay in the presence of the Holy Spirit, and may He guide us in every decision and choice we make. Okay, amen.